Hi.
Hi, Adrienne. Welcome back on my show.
Thank you, Kyle.
Kyle is exhibiting proper social distancing.
Yes.
That's right. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm actually 8 feet away. We heard it was 6 feet. I wanted to get an extra 2 feet in just to be safe.
Well, no.
We're filming this in front of a live studio audience
Yes.
of
This is
a
special.
collection of network executives.
A collection of 3 people.
Yes,
and their cat.
One of the things we talked about earlier was the difference between actually being kind, like authentically being kind,
Yeah.
and sort of posturing as kind,
Yeah.
which has its own sort of accompanying benefits, if you will.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people think that sounds nice to be kind, but what does it really mean? Like how can you see through the pretenders? How can you see through the fakers?
Well, I think that people can smell fake coming. They might just keep it quiet, you know? And I think there'll always be people who have some fake tendencies. A lot of people are phony, not because they're mean or bad or anything like that. It's just they're hiding behind a mask. They don't want to get hurt. And so for a lot of us, and being nice is not bad. You gave me a great tagline from our last conversation. You said,
That's what I do.
Wow, I bet.
she
I
did.
can't wait to hear it.
You want to hear it, Kyle?
Yeah.
Zibby said, let me get it right.
Okay.
Zibby
This is
said,
God is back.
yes.
He heard my name.
She is a gift from heaven above. Kindness is one thing, but nice is the gateway drug to kindness, she said.
Love
Truth.
that.
So you start out with a nicety, but it can't be where you end. We want to graduate to kindness. Kindness is much more aware of the person's condition. Like when I meet somebody and smile at them and introduce myself and I'm friendly, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But are you willing to say something to that person to encourage them to kind of get in their business a little bit? Are you willing to be situationally aware enough to say, hey, I noticed on the last conference call, or I noticed on our last Zoom that you didn't really look like yourself. Or maybe you're going through something and I could tell by your face. And they're like, oh, no, I'm fine. And sometimes I would joke with somebody and say, okay, well, notify your face that you're fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, your face is betraying what you're telling me. So if you need to talk. And recently I did an empathy course for a company. And I said, listen, sometimes people aren't ready to just open up and tell you all their business. But write a note to somebody, a handwritten note, mail it to them, drop it off, slip it under the door, whatever it is, whatever your relationship is, and say, listen, I'm here for you. I know I'm not trying to guess, I'm not trying to assume, but maybe you're going through something. I just want you to know I'm a safe place. And leave it at that and give it to them. But for us to keep walking around like, oh, everything's fine, is so disingenuous and so not a part of our collective humanity. It's time. We have gone through a very tough year. Like, it's okay to say that. It's okay to say that it's been hard, and we want to look for the positives, but it's like, let's be there for each other, and let's recognize that we need each other.
Totally. Earlier today, we were talking about how not only is it not seeing everybody, but it's also all your career goals and how far you had come at work and having achieved so much and gotten to a place where you were like just rocking it and expecting it to go on. And obviously, your job comes with a lot of demands on your time and unpredictability and all the rest that accompanies being a journalist and having to be on call. But having all that taken away and all the time in the studio that you were so accustomed to and the travel and things that you had worked so hard to get gone. So talk a little bit about that.
I think a lot of people can relate to the fact that life in 2020 doesn't look anything like what they expected or asked for. But then for a lot of career professionals, you have a rhythm. Like, you're going into the office, you're hanging out in the break room with your friends, you're creating in this environment that you kind of have more control over and mastery over. And then all of that's taken away. So the path that you're on, where you have these ambitions and these dreams, now the dream is like you're almost in heartbreak over the fact that your societal or your social life is different and your work life is different. I know there are benefits to working from home. I've experienced some of the pros, but I've also seen some of the cons where you're just like, this is not what I thought was going to happen in my career at this stage of the game. And so letting go of what I wanted in order to function where I am was a process. And I had to be kind enough to myself to recognize, oh my gosh, not only am I heartbroken over not seeing my friends or family, I'm heartbroken over the fact that this was not the dream that I had for myself at this age, at this stage of the game. And so for anybody listening who's going through that feeling of like, surrender, right, to the process of what life is. Like, this is the most innovative time. Like, I want you to kind of see this as a rebirth. Like, when you're having a baby, there are uncomfortable moments. For those who are going through this time of questioning, like, the dream doesn't look like what I expected or what I asked for. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask to work from home 5 days a week. You know what I'm saying? Like, allowing yourself to express that is like the first step towards kindness to yourself. Just be real. Like, this is not what I wanted. I didn't want to hear that I was working from home perpetually. You know what I'm saying? And you want to hear that it's over in 2 months or it's over in 90 days. And it's not that way. So, okay, what do you do with that? You decide, just like a mother who's expecting a baby, there is pain, there is trial, and it's uncomfortable. And yet at the end, there's this sweet, precious gift that you would not trade any of that for. And it's like, okay, so what is it that I'm birthing? And being original enough and allowing yourself the time to breathe and having that quiet time in the morning that we all need. You know, a lot of our morning routines have been completely axed because the first thing we do is jump on the computer. We've eliminated those times where we actually refueled and refired ourselves and dreamed and worked on our vision boards and our goal lists. And instead we're just like, dude. So, but like for me, like it was about dreaming a new dream and allowing the dream to transform and morph and be like the butterfly that Kyle is in our backdrop here.
Yeah, no, that's lovely.
I feel like this is the time to use innovation, and you paint differently when you are frustrated. You paint differently when you're sad. You eat differently when you're frustrated, and you eat differently when you're sad. When you are loving life, when you are full of joy, when you are knowing you're loved, you express yourself in a different way. And it's like using the innovation, and I speak to all the creatives out there, like use that to help solve other people's problems. Use that to bring kindness and joy and peace to somebody and calm to somebody's storm, and you're going to feel better while you're making the world better at the same time.
No, you're really making me think, though, because like I try to work a lot, but I feel like the work I'm doing, I hope is helping, right? But it's still my work, right? Mm-hmm. I'm still doing it around the clock and like doing it at the expense of maybe spending time with that guy or like spending time with my kids when I could have seen them because I'm inside doing a podcast or something. And I think that it's easier now that some things are back to normal, like that we have a couple living human beings with us today. Yeah. That like the anxiety of the world is gone, but it's so not. Yeah. So it creeps out, and maybe that's one way, and maybe I don't know. I feel like just what you're saying with being kind to ourselves, it's not quite over, even though it's a little better.
Yeah. Well, you have something in your what do you call a bathroom besides a bathroom? In your powder room?
Loo.
In the loo.
The WC.
It said that friends make things better during good times and make things easier during hard times, I believe.
I was just looking at that today.
Yeah.
I think it says good friends make the good times better and the hard times even harder.
No, stop it.
Sometimes.
Is that not how it goes?
No, easier. So because I needed help in a desperate moment, you know, I needed internet connection that wasn't working in my apartment at the last hour, literally. Like, I think it was like I had 10 minutes to get my life together for national broadcast. And my neighbors answered the door, number one, allowed me to use their... Answered the call. They were friends. And I think... in my mind, that's what we are all supposed to be in a moment of tragedy, in a moment of chaos, in a moment of crisis. We need people who will be friendly. You don't have to be everybody's bestie, but just that sense of, okay, what do you need? Like, I can help you. I have the capacity to help you. I want to help you. Don't stress. I have a feeling that this was not the way that this was supposed to go.
It's so funny. You know what? Why not?
But it's fun. You know, we are making a memory, and that is priceless.
That's true.
I will never forget this day.
All for the cost of a can of wipes and a rental car.
Wipes, Clorox wipes.
Clorox wipes.
And the cost of a rental car. And
look at all these laughs. I haven't laughed this hard in a long time.
You know what?
It's true. I mean it, actually.
Isn't it cool to
laugh? Since the last time we did this interview.